Introduction to car theft. You parked at the mall, locked the doors, heard the beep, came back 90 minutes later, and the spot was empty. No broken glass, no scratches, no alarm ever went off. Here's what actually happened and why your specific car made you a target before you ever left the house that morning. Today, we're counting down the 10 most stolen vehicles in America in 2025. And more importantly, we're breaking down exactly how each one is being taken because it's not the same method across the board. The vulnerability depends on the platform, the generation, sometimes even the trim level. And if you own one of these, don't go anywhere because at the end, I'm going to tell you exactly how to protect yourself. Let's get into it. 10. Nissan Altima. Number 10. Nissan Altima. Not here because it's flashy, not here because thieves dream about driving one. It's here because there are a million of them on the road. And a significant chunk of those, specifically the 5th generation, the 2013 through 2018 body style, are running key fob security that the theft community has completely mapped out. Here's how key fob cloning works. Because this method shows up multiple times on this list, your key fob communicates with your car using a rolling code, meaning the code changes every single time you press the button. Theoretically impossible to copy, except thieves built interception hardware that captures the exchange between your fob and your car, reverse engineers the next valid code, and programs a duplicate. No physical contact with the vehicle, no broken window, no alarm. The car's own logs show nothing unusual. It reads exactly like you unlocked it yourself. On a 5th Gen Altima 2013 to 2018. This takes minutes, and the hardware to do it isn't some exotic dark web contraption anymore. It's circulating widely. Think about that the next time you're in a parking garage. The 6th Gen launched in 2019 with some improvements, but there are still hundreds of thousands of those 5th Gen cars out there sitting waiting. 8,445 stolen in 2025. A volume target hit quietly, efficiently, and almost without a trace. Number 9. Honda CR-V. And this one has a twist. 9. Honda CR-V 4th Gen CR-Vs 2012 through 2016 get taken via the same key fob cloning method we just covered. Same interception hardware, same rolling code vulnerability. Moving on. But the 5th and 6th generation 2017 through 2022 and the current 2023 onward models face a completely different problem. One most owners have never even thought about. These newer CR-Vs are loaded with driver assistance hardware, forward radar units, blind spot sensors, lane keep cameras. Honda charges $800 to $1,500 just for the forward radar module through a dealer with an appointment. Thieves sell the same part on Facebook Marketplace the next morning for $300 cash, no questions, gone in an hour. So, what started happening is rings specifically targeting 2017 and newer CR-Vs, not to steal the car, but to surgically remove the sensor suite and leave everything else intact. You walk out the next morning, car's right there, keys in your pocket, nothing looks wrong. First sign something happened is a fault code on your dash on the drive to work. Then your service advisor tells you your front radar unit is missing, and it'll be $1,800 to fix it. They took $300 worth of your car. They left you a $1,800 problem. And you didn't hear a thing. $9.89 CR-Vs reported stolen or stripped in 2025. 2 generations, to completely different attack vectors. Neither one leaves a scratch. Number 8. Toyota Camry. Specifically, the 8th generation. 8. Toyota Camry, the XV70 platform 2018 through 2024. This is where we talk about what law enforcement has started calling Game Boy theft. Named after the handheld gaming console these devices look like. And I know that sounds almost funny. It's not. These are professional-grade key emulators. The ones that reliably crack Toyota and Lexus platforms, specifically a device called the P33 code grabber, run between $15,000 and $25,000 on the criminal market. That's not a cheap toy. That's a business investment. And these people are running a business. Here's the mechanic. You walk up to your Camry, touch the door handle, the car broadcasts a challenge signal looking for your fob. The P33 intercepts that challenge, runs it through a preloaded algorithm specific to the XV70 security architecture, and sends back a perfectly spoofed response. The car accepts it, doors unlock, engine ready. From outside, it looks exactly like someone used a real key. Now, here's the part that makes it worse. The P33 can take up to 90 minutes to brute force the right rolling code combination. So, the thief doesn't stand next to your car for 90 minutes. He runs the device on a Tuesday night, stores up to 20 generated keys in the device's onboard memory, and comes back Thursday at 2 a.m. when nobody's awake. The car system shows no anomaly, no alarm, nothing to investigate. The 2025 Camry moved to an all-hybrid lineup with updated key architecture, but every 2018 through 2024 XV70 on the road right now still carrying this. 9,833 stolen in 2025, targeted by a $25,000 device operated by professionals. You don't see it happen, and there's nothing to find afterward. 7. Ford F-150. Number 7. Ford F-150. And this one is different from everything we've covered so far. The 13th gen 2015 through 2020 and the current 14th gen that launched in 2021. These trucks aren't getting taken because thieves want to drive them. They're getting mined. A 2019 or 2020 F-150 Powerfold tailgate retails at Ford for close to $2,000. The LED headlight assembly $600 to $900 each. Catalytic converter, depending on the trim, $300 to $800 in scrap value alone. Now, multiply that across for wheels. That's a significant payout in one parking spot in under 2 minutes. Here's how the pit crew model works. Because this is documented, 3-person crews arrive in a previously stolen vehicle so their own plates don't ping cameras. 1 person on lookout at the end of the block. 2 people working with battery-powered pneumatic jacks and drills. They elevate the truck, strip the wheels, pull the catalytic, take the tailgate if it's a clean one, drop the truck on plastic milk crates, and they're gone. The whole thing looks like a pit stop at Le Mans. You come out the next morning, your F-150 is right there, right where you left it, sitting perfectly level on 4 milk crates, like someone tucked it in for the night. 10. 12 F-150s hit in 2025. Your truck might survive the night, parts of it might not. 6. Kia Optima. Number 6. Kia Optima. And this is where outrage is completely warranted. The 3rd generation 2016 through 2020 was sold in the United States without a hardware engine immobilizer on base and mid-trims. Not because of an engineering oversight, not because the technology didn't exist, because it wasn't legally required here. And leaving it out saved money. Every other major developed country fixed this years ago. The European Union mandated immobilizers in 1998. Australia in 2001. Canada in 2007. The United States has never passed an equivalent law. So, automakers selling into the American market made a business decision. Omit the hardware. Save a few dollars per unit. Move on. And the result, the Kia Boys. A theft trend that spread on TikTok showing exactly how to bypass the ignition on 2016 through 2020 Optimus using a USB cable. A USB cable, the same thing you charge your phone with. It spread because the vulnerability existed across millions of vehicles and nothing, not one federal regulation required the manufacturer to prevent it. Kia rebranded the Optima as the K5 for 2021 and added immobilizer hardware. Great. A little late. The 2016 through 2020 cars are still out there, still vulnerable, still getting taken. In December 2025, New York AG Letitia James extracted a $9 million settlement from Hyundai to fund software patches. Better than nothing, but you cannot patch missing hardware with software. That's not how physics works. 11,521 stolen in 2025. Not a technical exploit, a deliberate omission. Perfectly legal under American law. Hey, real quick. If you're finding this useful, hit the like button. And we're just getting into the top 5. It gets worse from here. 5. Honda Civic. Number 5, specifically the 10th generation, 2016 through 2021. Here's the thing about the Civic. It doesn't make this list because it's valuable. It makes this list because it's useful. There's a difference. Engines, transmissions, suspension components, and interior trim from a 2019 10th Gen Civic plug directly into 2016, 2017, and 2018 models. Which means a stolen Civic doesn't need to go anywhere as a complete car. It goes to a chop shop, gets broken down into components, and every single piece gets sold separately through channels that are nearly impossible to trace. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, compromised local body shops, cash, no paperwork. Court documents from the DC theft ring indictment unsealed in April 2026 named 10th Gen Civics as priority targets alongside Corvettes and Camaros. Think about that pairing for a second. A $70,000 Corvette gets stolen for overseas export. A $23,000 Civic gets stolen because its drivetrain is worth more in pieces than the whole car is on a used lot. Two completely different criminal business models. Same parking lot, same night. The 11th Gen 2022 and newer received improved ignition security, but there are hundreds of thousands of 10th Gen examples aging into exactly the risk window where organized operations focus their attention. 12,725 stolen in 2025, fifth in the country. Worth more disassembled than intact. Number 4. Chevrolet Silverado 1500. 4. Chevrolet Silverado 4th Generation, the T1XX platform, 2019 to present. This is where we need to talk about the OBD port because it's the most brazen vulnerability on this entire list and the federal government literally mandated it. Every vehicle sold in America since 1996 is required by law to have an OBD2 port under the steering column. It exists for diagnostics. It can also program replacement key fobs. Legitimate use locksmiths do it every day. The problem is that the same commercially available tools used by legitimate locksmiths, devices like the Automaxim KM100, purchasable online, no license required, can execute an all-keys-lost command. It wipes your credentials from the vehicle's memory, programs a blank fob as the only authorized key in under 60 seconds. Done. On 2019 and newer Silverados, thieves access the cabin first. Rear glass is the common entry point on trucks. Takes about 10 seconds, then goes straight to the OBD port. The new key works perfectly. The car system shows a routine key programming event. Nothing unusual to flag. GM added a secure gateway module to newer T1XX trucks to block unauthorized diagnostic access. Good instinct. Thieves sourced physical bypass harnesses that route around the gateway. Those were circulating on the criminal market within months of the protection being deployed. And it gets worse. Those harnesses aren't even particularly hard to find. 16,760 for Silverados stolen in 2025. Fourth on the list. The attack runs through a port the government requires every vehicle to have. 3. Hyundai Sonata Number 3, the Hyundai Sonata. And this one gets squeezed from both ends of its own timeline. Pre-2020 7th Gen Sonatas, the LF platform, 2015 through 2019, carry the same missing immobilizer problem we covered with the Kia Optima. Same regulatory gap, same exposure. Those cars are still out there in significant volume. Then Hyundai launched the 8th Gen DN8 for 2020. New design, better interior, immobilizer hardware finally included. Problem solved, right? Not quite. The DN8's keyless ignition system became a primary target for a faster version of the Game Boy emulator we covered with the Camry. Where the Toyota targeting P33 can take up to 90 minutes, the P31, calibrated specifically for Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis architecture cracks the rolling code in under 2 minutes. Hyundai fixed the ignition bypass vulnerability, introduced a keyless emulation vulnerability. The thieves followed. To be fair, the software update campaign has made a real dent. Hyundai and Kia's combined share of national thefts dropped from 21% in 2023 to 14% in 2025. That's meaningful progress, but 14% of the national theft total is still tens of thousands of cars a year disappearing because of decisions made at the factory. 17,687 Sonatas stolen in 2025. Vulnerable on both sides of a generational design, still third in the country. Number 2, Honda Accord. 10th generation, 2018 through 2022. 2. Honda Accord. This car gets hit by everything. Key fob cloning on older trims, OBD port reprogramming on newer configurations, both methods already covered on this list, and then part stripping that operates exactly like what we described with the F150. Except the Accord usually disappears entirely rather than getting stripped in place. The operation that captures what's happening to 10th Gen Accords is Operation Pit Crew. Dismantled in April 2026 by the NYPD Auto Crime Division and the Bronx DA, the ring ran up to 6 heists per night across 5 boroughs and parts of New Jersey with 3-person crews stripping 2018 through 2020 Accords of wheels, tires, and catalytic converters in under 2 minutes and dropping them on milk crates. Why the Accord specifically? The catalytic converter sits in an accessible position on the exhaust. The wheels cross-reference it to multiple model years. The 1.5T and 2.0T engine components are compatible across a wide range of Honda and Acura platforms. The car is worth more as a donor than as a whole unit, and the Rings knew that before they ever pulled out of the driveway. The 11th Gen, 2023 onward brought updated security, but the 10th Gen is everywhere right now, hitting the exact age where organized theft operations move in. 17,797 Accords stolen in 2025, second in the country. Every method on this list applies to it simultaneously. 1. Hyundai Elantra. Number 1. Hyundai Elantra. The most stolen car in America in 2025, the Hyundai Elantra. Not close. More than 4,000 thefts ahead of the Accord. And the reason is one we've already established on this list. Except here it played out at a scale that makes everything else look small. The 6th generation, the CN7 platform 2017 through 2020 went out the door in the United States without hardware immobilizers on base and mid-trims. Same policy gap we explained with the Kia Optima. Same missing hardware except the Elantra sold in far higher volume than the Optima, making it the single largest pool of unprotected vehicles on American roads. The 7th Gen launched for 2021 and added the immobilizer, but early 2021 base trims say production still lacked it in certain configurations. And the millions of 6th Gen CN7S already in circulation didn't disappear because the new generation arrived. Now, here's the contrast that should make every American car owner furious. Jaguar Land Rover. After years of Range Rovers being stripped from driveways across the UK, deployed ultra-wideband smart key technology starting with 2021 model year vehicles. OOB doesn't measure signal strength like traditional fobs. It measures the precise time of flight of radio pulses. The literal physical travel time of the signal moving at the speed of light. You cannot fake that. You cannot amplify it across a distance without introducing a time delay. The car immediately detects. The system locks down the ignition instantly. New Range Rover theft rates dropped to 0.07% after the rollout. 0.07%. The technology exists. It works. Manufacturers know exactly how to build it. And it's been proven at scale. The 6th Gen Elantra sits at number 1 because nobody required Hyundai to protect it the way other markets protected their buyers. That's it. That's the whole story. 21,732 Elantras stolen in 2025. The most targeted vehicle in America, are not by bad luck, but by policy. This isn't random. It never was. Every car on this list got here because of a specific identifiable weakness in the platform, in the generation, sometimes in all three at once. Criminals didn't get smarter, they just got better at finding doors that were already unlocked. Protection and conclusion. If your car made the list, OBD port lock and steering wheel lock today, not tomorrow. Pre-2021 Hyundai or 2016 through 2020 Kia. Call your dealer about the software update. Keyless fob on anything Faraday pouch, but test it by holding it against your door handle every few weeks. The metallic shielding degrades with daily use, and you cannot see it happening from the outside. The pouch looks fine. Your signal is leaking. Drop a comment. Did your car make the list? What generation are you driving? Thank you. See you in the next one.